Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So I'm back today with my July 2021 book haul. So this is going to be all of the books and the graphic novels that I ended up grabbing last month, and I think it's a pretty interesting month, especially when we get to the graphic novel side of things here. So I have 5 books to talk about, all picked up from Second and Charles, and then I have 11-ish? I don't know, maybe a dozen or so graphic novels. I can't remember exactly. But I picked up most of those, if not all of them, from Ollie's this past month. So it was a really good month to stop in at Ollie's. So hopefully you guys were able to find some cool things at your local Ollie's as well. And if not, maybe you'll be able to check them out now. Maybe there's some leftovers. But anyway, guys, I am excited about this. And if you are too, please give this video a like. It really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my July 2021 book haul. We happen to be near Second and Charles on a Wednesday, which is the best day to go because on Wednesdays, their clearance books are all buy one, get one free. I don't know if you guys will remember this or not, but sometime early last year, I think it was, or maybe mid last year, I scored with like a ton of Star Trek books in the buy one, get one half off sale for the clearance books. And so it's thrift store prices at that point. It's 50 cents each. Well, we went there on a Wednesday again, and they had a few more in their clearance section that were interesting to me. So the first one I ended up grabbing is from Donald Hamilton. This is The Demolishers. So the reason this is interesting is because this is actually a where is it? Oh, I know it says it on here somewhere. There it is. Matt Helm number 24. So it's from the Matt Helm series, which I believe I have a couple others from this series in my collection, but I know it's one that I've heard about thanks to Serial at Midnight. I think he has a complete collection of the Matt Helm books, which there are a ton. So that is really impressive. But yeah, this is just an action book, and that's really all it's going to be. It's actually quite a lot thicker than I would have guessed for one of these like silly pulpy action books. It's like 300 and almost 350 pages. So that's pretty thick for one of these types of books, at least. Normally what I'm used to seeing is ones that are about half this size. But anyway, it kind of reminds me of something like the James Bond books, by Ian Fleming, or even Quarry a little bit by Max Allan Collins, kind of in that same idea. It's just this like standalone character who has these like interesting missions each book. And so, though this Quarry does have a continuing story, this one is a little different than that, but you get the idea. It's just an action book. So not a lot of depth, but a ton of fun. So yeah, really interested to get around to this one. This is The Demolishers, Matt Helm number 24, written by Donald Hamilton. And that's the first book I ended up finding in the buy one, get one clearance sale. I guess it would have made sense to put this one first since I referenced the other Star Trek books. But anyway, this is Star Trek, The Final Reflection. And this is written by John M. Ford, and it is Star Trek number 16, as you can see on the spine there. So honestly, I've stopped buying Star Trek books unless I can find them for 50 cents or less, maybe $1 or less, whatever the case is. Basically thrift store prices on them, or I don't pick them up because I have so many, and I just ended up putting them all into one big box because I don't have the space for them. So they're there if I ever want to get around to them, but I don't know how many of those I'll actually ever get to. So if I find one I don't happen to own and it's super cheap like this one, I'm going to pick it up. But yeah, so that's why I ended up grabbing this one. I don't know too much about it other than what's on the back here, which you guys can see. But yeah, I don't know. It says only a Klingon warrior can save the Federation from total war. So if you guys don't know, all of the Star Trek novels are not considered canon at all. So they're just kind of fun side stories, which, again, as I've said in the past, canon really doesn't mean much of anything. I'm reading a story because it's enjoyable or because I want to find enjoyment in it. And that's the case with a lot of the Star Wars books that I've read that are not canon. And I'm assuming a lot of these because they've made so many of them, they have to be pretty good. So yeah, very intrigued to eventually get around to some of these Star Trek books in my collection. But this new one here is Star Trek, the original series, number 16, The Final Reflection, written by John M. Ford. You guys know I couldn't walk out of Second and Charles without at least one novelization in my hand, and so I did find one. This is the Presidio. At least I think that's how you would say that. But it has Tom Cruise in it, Sean Connery. This is a script written by Larry Ferguson. The novel, though, is written by Mike Cogan. And so I've not seen this movie. Frankly, I don't even know that I've heard of it before. So I don't know. We'll check it out eventually and see if it's any good or not. Directed by Peter Hyams is the film. So I don't know. We'll see. You can see the tagline here. It says, a commanding officer, a streetwise cop, tough on killers, murder on each other. So yeah, I guess these two are trying to hunt down a killer. I don't know if it's a serial killer or just a murderer. I don't know, but they are trying to work together, which is going to be difficult, it sounds like. So yeah, if you guys have seen this movie, let me know if it's worth it or not. Now that I have the novelization, I would like to own it in my collection, at least on DVD. So let me know if it's worth it or if I should just get rid of this novelization and not worry about it. But anyway, the novelization for this haul is The Presidio, written by Mike Cogan. Next up, in the last one of my 4, buy one, get one free options, is a young adult horror, so something in the vein of, the Point horror series or Fear Street, I'm assuming at least, given the author. This is Richie Tankersley Cusick. This is called Help Wanted. So I know that Cusick has a number of books in the Point horror series. I don't think this is one of them. I don't see Point horror written anywhere on here, so I'm guessing it's not. But yeah, so I'm assuming it's going to be something along those lines. It has an excellent cover there, the tagline, the job promised easy money but delivered sudden death. So yeah, sounds like it's should be a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll check this one out eventually here from Richie Tankersley Cusick, Help Wanted. And that's the last, like I said, of the buy one, get one free. I do have one more, though, that I ended up getting for free from the free bin. And this is a play. This is a Tom Stoppard play. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. So these are 2 characters from Hamlet, if I remember correctly. And it's kind of like a comedy based on these 2 side characters that don't do much in Hamlet. So I know that one of my friends was obsessed with this play in grad school, but I don't think I ever ended up reading it. And so I figured this would be a good one for my play collection, which is all tucked away in a box. It's like my former self over there tucked away in this giant box filled with all this acting and theater and plays, all that stuff. But yeah, this is a good one for that collection at least. So hey, and it was free, so of course I had to grab it. So Tom Stoppard's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, and that's the last of the standard books / plays I picked up. So now let's jump over to the graphic novel side. This first one, I swear to God, my wife asked me to pick it up. I have no interest in this series at all, but this is Twilight, the graphic novel, Volume 1. Of course, originally written by Stephanie Myers. It's adapted by Young Kim, and I'll show some of the artwork in here just to give you guys an idea. It's not all black and white, but there is very little color. Actually, I'm not even finding any color. There is some color in this, though, I promise. But it is much more of a black and white graphic novel than anything else. And this is just the first part of the graphic novel adaptation of this book series. So my wife was a big fan of this growing up. I've only seen the movies, and I cannot stand any of the movies except maybe the last 2 are okay. But other than that, I don't like the series. But anyway, this one is now in the collection. I will probably not read it, but my wife might. So Twilight, the graphic novel, Volume 1, adapted by Young Kim. That's the first graphic novel I grabbed. Just a reminder, I did find all of these at Ollie's, so you might be able to hit your Ollie's up and see if there's anything cool left. But this next one here I am so excited about because I've heard about this series for years and have just never gotten around to it. But this is The Wake, written by Zack Snyder. So this is Zack Snyder. Jeez, I always do that. It's Scott Snyder, not Zack Snyder. I always do that, though. But anyway, this one just sounds fantastic. Apparently there is this mysterious signal coming from under the ocean, and then they go to figure out what it is, and then a month later or whatever, sometime later, the entire world is drowned. Of course, there are some survivors, and there are creatures from the deep that are coming up, and that is what we're following, is the survivors trying to overcome that. So the art looks incredible. I should mention the art is done by Sean Murphy. So yeah, we'll see if this one is as good as I've heard. I've always wanted to read it, so I'm so happy that I was able to find it for super cheap. And I'll mention, with all of these, we're talking $4 to $5 max. It's $3 on some of them. So very good prices for all of these. So that is The Wake, written by Scott, not to be confused with Zack Snyder. I showed you guys last month that I ended up finding Fables, the deluxe hardcover edition, book 1 last month, from Ollie's. And so this month I ended up finding what is volume 3 of Fables, written by Bill Willingham, and this is called Storybook Love. And you can see on the side there that this is volume 3. So this would be the next one after that deluxe book 1, because that's going to contain volume 1 and volume 2. So now I have the first 3 volumes available to me of Fables, and I really like this. This is just a more adult take on like these Fable characters, and it is really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed the first volume, so I'm definitely going to continue this one. So I'll just pick these up as I can. I know I probably won't ever own the entire collection because it's a long running series, but hey, if I can get them for this cheap, which how much is this one? $4, then I'm going to do that. I will mention there are some stickers at Ollie's like this one. They just won't come off easily at all. And so I have to go at it with Goo Gone. It takes a lot of work and I'm lazy, so I haven't done that yet, but eventually in my life I need to get this one off because I hate these stickers on here. But anyway, Fables Volume 3, Storybook Love, written by Bill Willingham. If you guys watched my June book haul, you know I picked up a bunch of Green Arrow digital comics from Comixology. Well, this one is in physical form. This is Green Arrow Year 1. So this is going to be like an origin story for Green Arrow, which I am so excited to read because I know nothing of this character, as I mentioned before. And so much like Batman Year 1, this is Green Arrow year 1. And so I am really intrigued to see what this one is all about. This one is written by Andy Diggle, and I guess the art is by Jock, whoever that is. But looking at some of the art here, it looks really good. So yeah, this is a cool find for so cheap from Ollie. So I cannot wait to figure out the origin here of this character. So yeah, we'll check this one out very soon. Green Arrow Year 1, written by Andy Diggle. Should be a really cool one for the collection. I was just thinking about it. I don't know if I mentioned it, but The Wake, that is the complete run because this was a limited series. And then Green Arrow is also the complete run of Year 1. So that is not a like separate volume at all. So I just wanted to point that out because I don't think I mentioned it. But this next one, though, this is volume 2, actually. This is Harley Quinn volume 2, Power Outage. And this is written by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. I think that's how you say that. But this is a graphic novel where my wife actually randomly bought volume 1 years ago now. And we've never had volume 2. So I figured I'd pick up volume 2 because it was so cheap. So yeah, now I have the first 2 volumes of Harley Quinn in the collection. And I don't know if this is, it has, the side here makes me think New 52, but I don't know for sure. I did this last time too. I just don't know exactly which ones are New 52 and which ones are. This is 2015, so this could be, during the New 52 run. So I don't know. We'll see if this one is any good or not. These authors are excellent, so hopefully I'll enjoy this one. So Harley Quinn Volume 2, which is called Power Outage, written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. Another number 2 volume, and this is Batgirl Volume 2, Nightfall Descends, and this one is for sure New 52, because it says so right on the cover there. So I actually, and this one is written by Gail Simone. So I actually showed that I found Volume 1 last month, and then I found Volume 2 this month, so that was really cool. And let me just look at the year here as well, since I know this is New 52. Yeah, this is 2013. I want to say New 52 was like 2013 to 2016-ish, maybe. And so I think that one was New 52 as well, but this for sure is, so I can at least say that. But yeah, this is a series I've not started. I just picked it up last month, but I have the first 2 volumes now, so that's always cool. Batgirl Volume 2, written by, or Nightfall Descends, written by Gail Simone, and I hear that Gail Simone is excellent, so I'm really intrigued to check this one out. Another New 52 here. This is Volume 1 of Supergirl, The Last Daughter of Krypton, and this is written by Michael Green. So I have only seen like the first season of Supergirl, and so I know that's really all I know about the character, but I want to check this out and learn a little bit more. I don't know if this one is regarded very well or not, but hey, for like the $3 or $4 I paid for it, I figured it is worth giving it a shot to see if it might be worth it or not. So yeah, excited to see if this one is good or if it needs to leave the collection. We'll find out eventually. Supergirl Volume 1, Last Daughter of Krypton, written by Michael Green. And the last one from the New 52, this is Suicide Squad, Volume 1, Kicked in the Teeth, and this one is written by Adam Glass. So I've heard really good things about this. I think what I heard recently was Zack Snyder, who directed the movie The Suicide Squad, which just came out. He talked about how this really inspired him to want to do the movie. And so that is why I ended up grabbing this one, and it was so cheap. So I figured I would give it a shot and see how good it is. But yeah, the artwork on this looks fantastic. I cannot wait to check this one out. I am super excited for this one. This one just looks awesome, and hearing good word of mouth about it makes me even more excited for it. So Suicide Squad Volume 1, Kicked in the Teeth, written by Adam Glass. So this is another Batgirl story, but it looks like almost a reboot of the character. But this is Batgirl Volume 1, Batgirl of Burnside, and this one is written by Cameron Stewart. So I looked at the inside, and this is also from 2015, so I guess maybe that's not technically New 52, I don't know, but it does say that it contains Batgirl 35 to 40 and Secret Origins 10. So I don't know. You guys are much more intelligent when it comes to comics and virtually anything than me. So let me know what this is considered. Is this, because I know it goes New 52 and then they do Rebirth, but this is not Rebirth because Rebirth is all branded in a certain way, which I'll show next. So I don't know exactly what this is. This might just be in between the two, whatever the case is. This is another one, but the art style on this is so much different. It looks almost like cartoony. Almost anime style, really, or manga style a little bit. But I don't know, it's interesting. And so I wanted to check it out and see if it's any good or not. So Batgirl Volume 1, Batgirl of Burnside, and this one is written by Cameron Stewart. So this is Rebirth, and this is from 2017. So I think we were kind of in between the New 52 and Rebirth, but this is Batman Detective Comics Volume 1, and it's called Rise of the Batman, written by James Tynion IV. So this is from, like I said, 2017, and this is what the Rebirth looks like. So I know that those are not Rebirth, but they're also not New 52, it looks like. So I don't know, there's just somewhere kind of floating in between. But anyway, I've never read a Detective Comics at all, and so I'm really intrigued to see what this one is all about. It looks really cool. Obviously it's going to be Batman heavy, but I feel like there's more to it than just Batman when it comes to the Detective Comics. So yeah, excited for this one, and it's I think one of only a handful that I have from the Rebirth line, at least in my physical collection. So yeah, this one should be really cool. This one is written, I already said, James Tynion IV, Volume 1, Rise of the Batman. So should be a fun one for the collection. And last but not least is probably the coolest find from this entire haul. This one, this is a chunker. So I actually read the first volume or omnibus, whatever you want to call it, of this last year. And then I was like halfway through this one when I decided to put it down. I borrowed it from both of them from the library. But so now I can actually go back to this and finish it. But this is Batman Nightfall Volume 2 Night Quest. And there are a ton of authors on this one because it spans a bunch of different series and issues and whatnot. So yeah, this is chunky as heck. And just an awesome find. You can see the cover price on here is $29.99. I don't know if you can see it down there. $29.99. I ended up paying like $7 for this, which is ridiculous. So now I need to get the first one in the collection and then find eventually the third one in the collection. But yeah, like I said, I have read the first complete chunker one of this last year, and it was really good. I enjoyed it, and then when I got into the second one, it was just slowing down a little bit too much for me, and I wasn't into it. I wanted to move on to something else, really, and so I ended up putting it down and taking it back to the library. But now that it's in the collection, I can read it myself, or read it again, and see if I enjoy it more this time around. So, like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's, just a very popular, well-known story arc, so if you want to know about it, check it out, but I don't want to really talk about it because this is the second in a 3-part series, so I don't want to give any spoilers. But yeah, it is just a interesting read that is definitely worth it. For $7, I am so happy to add this to the collection. So I just got to get the other two now. Batman Nightfall Volume 2 Night Quest, probably the coolest find in this haul. So that's going to be it for this book haul. All right, and there it is, my July book haul. A really fun month and very graphic novel heavy, which I think is always a good thing. I love adding cheap graphic novels to my collection, so I was really happy with finding all of those. And I will point out, I know this is very DC heavy, nothing Marvel here, but that's intentional because of the fact that I am subscribed to Marvel Unlimited, which I can get virtually everything I would want to read from Marvel that way. And so for the time being, I've just kind of paused my physical purchasing of the Marvel line, but that doesn't mean I like one over the other. I just happen to have those digitally, at least access to those digitally, where I don't have those that access right now for DC. So that's why it's DC heavy. I'm not, you know, saying one is better than the other. I love them both. It's just fun to read comics, and so I don't care which one you read. But anyway, guys, if you have read any of these, let me know where I should put my priorities. Batman Nightfall, I really want to get back into and see if I can kind of restart it and push through to the end and see if I like it any better. But let me know down in the comments below if there's anything here that you guys recommend me starting over anything else. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below and maybe consider subscribing. Like I always say, I don't just talk books, I talk all things media, be it books, movies, collectibles, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it, and if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.